what was your highest day so far?
6,900 and something. That was my highest. And my biggest week was, I think it was 16 or 17K. So the highest that I made was almost 35K in a month.
How long did it take you to generate that from when you joined the course to when you hit that? Was it like a couple months? Like how long did that take you?
I think I joined in September, October. So in a matter of a couple of months, I would say.
2 months, yeah. And as you said, going through a regular job where you have to learn the skills, you have to produce the project. That's why we called it like Profit Singularity as well, because as you've seen and most people see, you could be struggling and facing these challenges. But when you hit that one winner, you just go, this, negative, positive, break even to boom, like a massive day. All right, hey everyone. So today here we've got Sadish. So I've been seeing Sadish's, stats and income grow. So it's awesome to finally get you on here and hear a little bit about your story. So just so everyone knows where you're from and everything, if you want to give us a rundown of where you're from, your current occupation, and if you have any online experience before this.
Gotcha. Hey Chris. Hey everyone. So first, thank you for having me here. It's an absolute honor for me. And I mean, I'm excited too, because the last couple of months, it's been exciting because it's completely changed the face of my life. And I would say this is one of the best parts of my life too. So I'm excited. Just to give a quick intro about me. So my name is Sadish Kumar. So I'm originally from India. I've been traveling around the world a little bit. So I moved to France for my master's first. I was there for 4 years. And then I moved to Germany for 2.5 years for work. And then finally, right now I'm in US, Charlotte, North Carolina. So I've been here in US since 2016. And I'm a senior service delivery manager in the fintech. So I'm working for a finance company, which is pretty much a bank, to be honest.
Yeah. And so have you had any online experience prior to joining Profit Singularity?
Yes, I mean, so I've been in and out. So I also have the same issue like most others have, the shiny object syndrome. So I mean, probably I just started exploring, probably I would say like 2017. And then I've been jumping on, and so I was part of the Ultimate Freedom program as well. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, at that point of time, so we had the first baby. And I was completely occupied with the family stuff and work. And I just didn't have the opportunity to continue that program. And then again, so I got the Profit Singularity, and then I was excited, and then I jumped in, and there's no turning back after that. Yeah,
that's good to hear that you finally jumped in. Did you have any success previously on any of your shiny object syndrome courses?
Not really.
Yeah. So do you want to discuss a little bit about your why? You mentioned you had a child. So what was as you said, you needed the persistence and the dedication. So what was your why to finally, give this method of Profit Singularity your all and really push and stay persistent with that?
Sure. So I think for most of the folks, so one single most objective is financial freedom, right? I think that's the biggest wake-up call for me. And I said, does it make sense for me to work like 30 years and then have that money for retirement? And then the one thing that struck me really was, if I can make 1 month pay in a day, I have like 29 days of freedom, right? I said, let's keep trying, let's keep pushing, right? So that was the one thing that persistently pushed me to forward.
With affiliate marketing and with Profit Singularity, those massive upswings, you can generate like a year's worth of income in a month compared to like that sort of consistent, stable line of like having a job where at any moment, recently with COVID and all this sort of situations, a lot of people that we've talked to that have had success had no other option but to jump into online marketing or, our method to produce income, because their regular job, there's like no certainty in a sense. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where you were in terms of your progress when you just joined Profit Singularity prior to the mentoring?
Yeah, sure. So when right at the beginning when I joined them, I was really taking less risk. When I said less risk, in the sense like I was just using the keywords, and then I was just having a budget of $100 a day. I wasn't really taking very big steps, I would say. So it's like I don't really know where I'm going, so I just really wanted to minimize that risk, right? So I would say I was about break even or a little bit more than break even, right? So it was just consistent. It was just going on. I mean, I really had a bad experience right at the beginning. So I was promoting from MaxWeb. So what happened was, so I made sales. I mean, I was super excited. That's awesome. And then they came back and told me that, by the way, so these are flagged traffic because there are immediate refunds, and you're not allowed to promote any offers, right? That was the first thing that came to me.
Yeah, interesting.
And then, so when I said I'm part of the Profit Singularity program, then their response changed actually. And then what they told me was that for the flag traffic, probably we won't be able to pay you, but for the rest of the traffic, we can pay you. And that was kind of a shock for me, the way they changed their response. And then it broke that trust because I didn't really want to continue there after that. So then what I did was I switched to ClickBank, and then I started promoting the same app. The first product that I was promoting was tinnitus. So I had some sort of profit. And again, so for me, the biggest jump that I made was the Mentor Me program, right? So the reason why I took that program was that will push me to push myself to go forward. So
Yeah.
Saying no for an answer, right? I just want to keep pushing myself to see where I can go. So another key factor also is when you look from outside, like different people having success, it is always like, is it true? Right? Because that's the question you always have, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not an experience that I have had personally. So it's very difficult for me to relate to that experience.
Yeah, 100%. And as you said, just having the perspective of someone who's done that and achieved their breakthrough and is making thousands of dollars and, extraordinary numbers to the normal person, for them to just come in and have their perspective on your ads or your campaigns, and also the thinking patterns and the perspective of them, shows that some things that you think are like really difficult or massive situations for yourself is just like a really small thing for them. And they realize like the greater picture of like the path and what to implement to get where you want, instead of being bogged down by some smaller things that you think are like some massive challenge or hurdle, but then the mentor realizes like, hey, this is just some tiny little step that we're going to get over in the greater journey of achieving the breakthrough.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just that experience that is missing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say some of the biggest mistakes you made in your journey prior to your breakthrough?
So what happened in the Google lander page, instead of the actual lander, I added the click magic URL. And then like when I ran the promotion, it just blew the traffic. It was like the traffic was super high, and I was like, wow, okay, so this should be something. And then when I checked on the landing page, it was just click magic link. I was like, oh, this is terrible. So then I dropped in the right lander page, and then I really had a big success that day. I think that was the first day where I had like $500 a day. So, I mean, if at that point, if I had given up, like, okay, that was a big ad spend and probably I shouldn't have spent like that, I think I wouldn't have experienced that success, right? So I think it's success and part of the challenges that you face, it's part of the journey, right? So you just have to keep moving forward. That's what I really understood from that specific day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like every mistake you make, even myself, sometimes I put in the wrong lander link, or I have a lander link without an affiliate link, or everyone runs into these little things, but you just realize they're just small little mistakes, and you clean them up, you fix them, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
But obviously having a mentor there to like guide you through everything and put those, like all that little skill-based stuff, like the landing page, the links, all that stuff to begin with can be confusing, but once you've done it a couple of times, it's like learning how to ride a bike. You know exactly where to put your links, you know exactly what to do. And all the sort of skill-based stuff is very simple and easy once you understand it. And then it's like such a minute part of the business from then on, because it's so simple to do.
Yeah.
What do you think, in saying that, and coming from having those little mistakes and having that $500 a day, what would you say your biggest, the most helpful and most beneficial part of joining the one-on-one to mentoring has been with your mentor, And what made the biggest difference for you starting from where you started with no experience to then having your breakthrough?
Again, I want to give another analogy, right? So
I love
imagine
analogies, so it's good.
so imagine that you don't know swimming, right? So all of a sudden, so you want to learn swimming, but you don't know how. So I read the book, I watch YouTube videos like how to swim and all of that stuff, right? And then I said, okay, let me try swimming. And then I don't really know what I'm treading, right? And then I jump into the swimming pool and then I try to swim. But again, I can't really swim because I haven't had that experience. All I know is just the theoretical knowledge and just my own experience and part of what I've seen because I've not really experienced that, right? So that's how I would say before you join the Mentor Me program. So when the experience after that is you have someone right next to you who's going to give you that confidence that, hey, you can do it. Don't worry about anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then he changes the technique and then he just guides you like real time, like what are the right steps? What is the right way to do it? And then you learn from that, right? And then he consistently guides you all through the way. And then it's also more like accountability partner too, right? There have been days like where I said, probably I should give up because I don't think I'm getting success, right? Again, it's the same old pattern that comes in. And then when you meet with your mentor and then he says, hey, this is good. And I think you should just make a minor tweak. And I think it should be a good success, right? And then I make the tweak and then I see the result based on his feedback, right? So it instills that confidence too to move forward because whatever self-doubts you have is pretty much like how you see yourself, right? It may be a reality or not, but ultimately it depends on how you see yourself, right? So when you have that mentor, they consistently push you through that journey, right? So whatever time window that you have, you're being consistently pushed and you're being consistently reminded like what exactly you need to do. I think the key part is you have to enjoy that process. When you start enjoying that process, you will have fun.
That's why we called it like Profit Singularity as well, because as you've seen and most people see, you could be struggling and facing these challenges. But when you hit that one winner, you just go, this negative, positive, break even to boom, like a massive day. And so in speaking of that, what was your highest day so far?
6,900 and something. That was my highest. And my biggest week was, I think it was 16 or 17K. So the highest that I made was almost 35K in a month.
How long did it take you to generate that from when you joined the course to when you hit that? Was it like a couple months? Like how long did that take you?
I think I joined in September, October. So in a matter of a couple of months, I would say.
2 months, yeah. And as you said, going through a regular job where you have to learn the skills, you have to produce the project. You go through university for 4 years, working way harder. Like I was working way harder in university than I am now, studying, doing exams, pressure, all this sort of stuff, to then go out in the workforce and have to get a job and then build all those skills while you're in debt from university to then get a job and get like 50K a year, 60, 70, 80, 100K. And 100K a year is like the peak sort of income. And to be able to produce that like, within a month of online with sort of less mental effort of going through a university course it's like the same sort of analogy for me as well. So that's why I think the power of like, our method specifically in online money is like exponential once you can really wrap your head around how powerful it can be compared to like a regular career in my sense.
Gotcha.
So in the beginning of the interview here, the beginning of our discussion, you mentioned how this was like probably the most exciting or life-changing sort of period of your life. So do you want to discuss how, life-changing this has been for you and any takeaways from your success, even though the odds were technically stacked against you, but then you went on to hit, $7,000 a day?
The confidence that I have made 34K in a month, I think I can say myself, if I have the negative belief that comes in, hey, by the way, I've made 34K in a month, I don't think it's impossible for me to make even $1 million in a couple of months because it's just numbers, right? So the key thing is I need to keep pushing forward, even if the same belief comes in, and then just try to get to that day where you have the big success, right? That's the key.
Yeah, I think that you've touched on it perfectly there as well. Like having the experience, like now that you've actually experienced that, you can sort of rewrite your mental patterns and your limiting beliefs to realize that if you've gone from your previous sort of self and your previous experiences and your previous perspectives of this is impossible, I can't achieve this, I have limiting beliefs, to then go on and hit that. Once you've broken through that sort of threshold in your mind and you've built that sort of self-confidence in yourself and rewritten your perspective, as you said, if I can do $30,000 in a month, there's no reason I can't do that again. And there's no reason I can't double that or triple that.
Yes.
So, you know, if like a millionaire loses all his money, he still has all those experiences, all that knowledge, that skill set, that awareness and that perspective to go out to the world and sort of build himself back up to where he was, regardless of his current circumstance, because it's all within the mind at the end of the day.
Right. Because he has that experience and he has that confidence to do that again. Right.
Exactly. And finally, what would you say to anyone who's thinking about jumping into the course, thinking about jumping into Mentor Me, and wondering how impactful it could be for them in their journey to their goals and what they aspire to?
So I would say Mentor Me is more like you're walking in a daylight where everything is clear. You know where exactly you need to go. But without that, if you switch the other way around, it's like you are in dark. You don't know what you need to do. You don't really know where you have to go. But all you know is that you have to keep moving forward, right? Yeah. So there is no path. There is no plan, and you have no idea what you're doing. So that's how I would look at it.
That sums it up pretty well. Yeah. Sweet. So this has been really awesome to come on here and chat with you. There's definitely I love the analogies. There's definitely a lot of wisdom bombs in here. So I'm sure everyone's definitely appreciated this and got some gold nuggets. So again, really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story. And I'm sure, everyone else is definitely really excited to start putting these analogies to work. And at the end of the day, like now that they've got these in their head, they can sort of build their own insights on their own journey and their own path forward.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, I feel like it's a great opportunity because, I mean, I know like there might be a lot of people who might be in the same boat as me. And I don't think it's just that they just have to realize that, right? It's just them who's holding back themselves. But the key thing is be smart about your approach. I mean, the program has already laid out. It's just the next step for them to move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So hope you guys all enjoyed that, and we'll leave it there.